Okay, so let me just say this. Being in a client drought doesn't mean your business is broken. It usually means something's out of alignment, right? And you might have drifted away from the core of what's been working, which, by the way, usually happens when you get a little bit of success. Could be that your offer has evolved, but your marketing really hasn't caught up. So listen, it happens all the time. Let's talk about how we get out of it.
Welcome to the Business Success by Design podcast, where you'll learn everything you need to know about building a thriving business. This isn't theory. It's hardcore strategies and tactics designed to help you win. Join us as top business coaches, marketers, and business insiders pull back the curtain on what really works in building the business you want and what's just complete BS. And now, sit back and listen to rockstar host James Lawson, he's the one with a funny accent, and Angela Inzerillo as they go deep, cut through the crap, and get to the core of making your business work for you.
Hey, welcome back to Business Success by Design podcast. I'm James, and today we're going to dig into one of those topics that really doesn't get talked about enough. At least I don't think so. But it's going to affect just about everybody at some point. We call it the client drought. Now, you know what I'm talking about. It's that stretch where everything's quiet. Too quiet, right? No leads, no new clients. And you start second guessing everything that you're doing, from your offer to your marketing, where that random dude from LinkedIn was right when he says, coaching is dead. By the way, he's not. He's completely wrong. Coaching isn't dead. But I thought it would be good for us to have a real talk today about what all this is and what it looks like. So over the course of this little podcast, I'm going to cover really 4 things. Why client droughts happen, even when you're doing all the right things. I'm going to talk about what I think are probably the 3 most common causes. I want to talk about what to actually do when you're in one, right? And if you're in one right now, then listen to what I'm going to say. And how we're going to prevent this from becoming your new normal, right? Because it's not a good place to be. So listen, by the end of the episode, here's what I want you to have. A plan. I want you to have some clarity. And I want maybe a little less anxiety about where your next client is going to be coming from. So if you're in for that, let's get on with it. So first up, why do client droughts happen? God. Let me tell you what it isn't, because I think this is probably one of the biggest things that gets in people's heads. I don't believe for a second that it's due to lack of effort. I don't think it's because you're lazy, and I certainly don't think it's because you don't want it bad enough. And I swear to God, if I hear another guru say that, I'm going to flip a desk. Listen, as often as not, here's what I think it might come down to. It's one of these probably 3 things. 1, your message is muddled. What do I mean by that? Look, you're showing up, but your message isn't landing with your ideal client. You're trying to be really helpful, but it's quite possible that it's all become a little bit generic. And here's the issue. If people can't clearly see how what you offer is solving a very specific problem for them and how they're feeling right now, they are going to scroll. They're going to ignore the message. It's going to come right over their head. So the first thing is your message might be a little bit muddled. So we'll take a look at that. 2, you're keeping it safe. And I say this with love, my friends, but some of you are busy posting inspirational quotes or overthinking Canva designs instead of actually inviting people to come and work with you. The way that we look at it is there's a massive difference between being visible and being available for business. All right? So you need to be looking at that. Are you visible and are you available for business? Number 3, your warm network went cold. This is a big one. You've put a lot of effort into generating trust from a lot of people, whether it's past clients, old leads, or fans. But if you're not reconnecting with them regularly, it's almost like you're starting every month from zero. And that, my friends, is exhausting. And I can tell you from experience, this is something that we went through where we just took our eye off the ball and our delivery of content got stagnant and it wasn't predictable. It certainly wasn't consistent. And that caused us a big problem because now it felt like we had to get everything moving again. So I look at it as like client droughts are often a connection problem, not a talent problem. So all that being said, being in a drought, it doesn't mean your business is broken. As I said before, it's usually something that's out of alignment. All right. And when we went through the same thing, we went through the same thing that you are going through right now. It really meant for us that it was like we had drifted. We definitely drifted from the core. And so what we want to do is to make sure that we're doing all the things that got us to where we were, right? We're just going to do them a little bit better or a little bit differently. So let me tell you a little bit about a client of ours, right? We're going to call her Sarah. She's a really great coach. She's one of those gals that she gets a ton of referrals. But in year 2 of her business, she flatlined. So she thought she needed to rebrand, get some new colors. I think she spent like $3,000 on a funnel that never launched. When we started to look under the hood of her business, here's what we actually found. She had stopped having real conversations. She had stopped checking in with past clients. She wasn't really making any offers. And honestly, she was busy, but not business busy, if that makes any sense. So the big thing we had to do with her from the get-go was get her reconnected with her warm audience. So we helped her create what we called a quick win offer. It's just a 90-minute session that solved one specific pain point. Guess what? That one thing brought her 6 new clients in 3 weeks. There was no ad spend. There wasn't any fancy tech. It really just came down to clarity and connection. So here's the part you came for, right? Which is, hey, how do I solve this? And what do I actually do when I'm going through a client drought? So I'm going to give you a 3-part playbook, guys. Do this, don't do this. It's up to you. But we generally, when we've done this with our clients, we start to see some really good results. So the first one is go check your message. Go read your last 5 posts or your emails and ask the question, would my ideal client stop and say, hey, that's me? Is it clear what I do and who I help? And am I addressing their felt pain? Or am I really just tossing out tips? Right? Your content should sound like you're reading their mind, not reciting a resume. We always say that what we want to do here is take what is inside your prospect's head and put it front and center. Get it right in front of them so they can see it. So the second thing is reconnecting with real people, right? Go grab a goddamn coffee, a notepad. Write down 10 names. Who are your past clients? People who ghosted but were once warm. And then people who've referred others to you. Reach out with a human message, right? This is not a pitch. I would suggest something around the line of, hey, I was thinking about you today. How's the business going? Or, hey, thinking about you today, just wondered, what's your biggest focus right now? Simple questions can open the door to a re-engagement or a referral without it feeling kind of salesy, right? Because we don't want to feel salesy. Number 3 is to make a now offer, right? This is something that's worked for us very, very well. So forget your full program if you have one. Forget that just for a second. And ask yourself, what's one small valuable thing I can help someone do this week. And then package it. Kind of things that we do is either we'll package it into like a 90-minute strategy session. We might package it into a mini audit. We might do like a focused workshop. Or a couple of things we've done lately is we've created a scorecard to help people identify the gaps in their business. Anything like that, you can just package up, send it out. People's going to get a small result. It's not designed to solve their bigger problem. So price it accessibly, give it a name, but make it easy to say yes to. People who aren't ready for that big leap just might say yes to this really, really small step. All that being said, how do we stop this happening as we move forward? So, we talk about being proactive. And one of the things is, once you've actually climbed out of a drought, the thing you want to do is to avoid getting back into it. We always use the analogy of like a steam locomotive. It takes a lot of power and energy to get that locomotive going. But hey, once it's going, then its momentum takes over and it takes less energy to keep it there. And that's what marketing is like. Marketing, once it has slowed down or stopped, takes a lot of energy, guys, for it to get it back to where it was. And so what we want to do is to make sure that we start to build a system, we start to build some consistency in a way that is easy to manage and that we can actually keep track on. So 3 things I would tell you to look at. One is build a weekly visibility habit. Right? We actually do this as part of our client flow program, our 16-week program. In fact, it's number 4 on our 5 phases of the program. But phase 4 for us is all about visibility. And so get a habit, like pick one core platform, an email or a podcast or social. Commit to weekly content that speaks directly to your ideal client's pain points. Don't overcomplicate this, right? Just make yourself visible and do it every single week. Second thing is, stay in touch with past clients. Just put a reminder in your calendar so that every month you do a check-in with 3 past clients. How is it going? Do you have any challenges? Is there anything I can help you with? Right? Just to stay top of mind. And number 3 is to track conversions. Actually, you know what? Scrub that. Track conversations. Right? Your goal isn't to go viral. Your goal is to create conversations and then track how many conversations you're actually having. Right? Not just how many likes you're getting. Likes, along with everything else, that's a vanity number. We don't give a shit. We really don't. We don't care. What we care about is the work that we're doing leading to us having conversations that will then lead to potential conversion into whatever it is that you've got. Your service, your program, whatever. That's the measurement. That's the true number. So just to kind of put a wrapper all around this, just understand this. Please. Client droughts are real. They absolutely effing suck. But they're almost always fixable. You don't need to overhaul your entire business. You just need to get specific again. So what I talk about is get specific about who you help, how you help, and how you're showing up to the people who need to hear from you. So as you listen to this, here's your challenge for the next week. Small challenge. It's not big. You can do this. Reconnect with 3 people from your warm network. Post 1 piece of content that actually speaks to a real pain point. And then craft a now offer that you can invite someone into. If you do even one of these things, I guarantee you're going to see some movement. But what we want to do is to get consistent. I would suggest to you is that you do those 3 things every single week. Right? Get done it every single week. So now people start to see it and it starts to register about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and who you're helping. And here's the thing. If you want help with the messaging piece or coming up with that now offer, that's literally what I do every day. every single day. That's all we do. So what you can do is you can hit the link in the show notes or shoot me a message, right? You're not alone in this. We got you. It's simple to do, but if you need help, you can reach out. You're going to get it. And just follow the 3 things. And I swear to God, you'll start to see progress. So, hey, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. And if you have any comments, whatever, please send them in. But do me a favor to subscribe and like, if you don't mind, the podcast to help us get some more visibility. All right, guys, thanks so much. And we will talk soon. Bye.
Welcome to the Business Success by Design podcast, where you'll learn everything you need to know about building a thriving business. This isn't theory. It's hardcore strategies and tactics designed to help you win. Join us as top business coaches, marketers, and business insiders pull back the curtain on what really works in building the business you want and what's just complete BS. And now, sit back and listen to rockstar host James Lawson, he's the one with a funny accent, and Angela Inzerillo as they go deep, cut through the crap, and get to the core of making your business work for you.